Act 2. The same about a half hour later, the tray of the bottle of whiskey has been removed from the table. The family are returning from lunch as the curtain rises. Mary is the first to enter from the black parlor. Her husband follows. He is not with her as he was in a similar entrance after breakfast at the opening of Act 1. He avoids touching her or looking at her. There is condemnation in his face, mingled now with the beginning of an old, weary, helpless resignation. Jamie and Edmund follow their father. Jamie's face is hard with defensive cynicism. Edmund tries to copy this defense, but without success. He plainly shows he is heartsick as well as physically ill. Mary is terribly nervous again, as if the strain of sitting through lunch with them had been too much for her. Yet at the same time, in contrast to this, her expression shows more of that strange aloofness which seems to stand apart from her nerves and the anxieties which harry them. She is talking as she enters, a stream of words that issues casually in a routine of family conversation from her mouth. She appears indifferent to the fact that her thoughts are not on what she is saying any more than her own are. As she talks, she comes to the left of the table and stands facing front, one hand fumbling with the bosom of her dress, the other playing over the tabletop. Tyrone lights a cigar and goes to the screen door, staring out. Jamie fills a pipe from a jar on the top of the bookcase at the rear. He lights it as he goes to look out the window. Edmund sits in a chair by the table, turned half away from his mother so that he does not have to watch her. Mary. It's no use finding fault with Bridget. She doesn't listen. I can't threaten her. Or she'd threaten she'd leave. And she does do her best at times. It's too bad they seem to be just the times you're sure to be late, James. Well, there's this consolation. It's difficult to tell from her cooking whether she's doing her best or her worst. Never mind. The summer will soon be over, thank goodness. Your season will open again and we can go back to second-rate hotels and trains. I hate them too, but at least I don't expect them to be like home. And there's no housekeeping to worry about. It's unreasonable to expect Bridget or Kathleen to act as if this was a home. They know it isn't as well as we know it. Never has been, and it never will be. No, it never can be now. But it was once before you. Before I what? No, whatever you mean, it isn't true, dear. It was never a home. You've always preferred the club or bar room. And for me, it's always been as lonely as a dirty room in a one-night stand hotel. In a real home, one is never lonely. You forget I know from experience what a home is like. I gave up one to marry you, my father's home. At once, through an association of ideas, she turns to Edmund. Her manner becomes tenderly solicitous, but there is a strange quality of detachment in it. I'm worried about you, Edmund. You hardly touched a thing at lunch. That's no way to take care of yourself. It's all right for me not to have an appetite. I've been growing too fat, but you must eat. Promise me you will, dear, for my sake. Yes, Mama? That's a good boy. There's another pause of dead silence, and the telephone in the front hall rings, and all of them stiffen startedly. Tyrone. I'll answer. McGuire said he'd call me. McGuire? He must have another piece of property on his list that no one would think of buying except your father. It doesn't matter anymore, but it's always seemed to be, to me, your father could afford to keep on buying property but never give me a home. She stops to listen as Tyrone's voice is heard from the hall. Hello? Oh, how are you, doctor? Jamie turns from the window. Mary's fingers play more rapidly on the tabletop. Tyrone's voice, trying to conceal, reveals that he is hearing bad news. I see. Well, you'll explain all about it when you see him this afternoon. Yes, he'll be in without fail, 4 o'clock. I'll drop in myself and have a talk with you before that. I have to go uptown on business anyway. Bye, doctor. That didn't sound like glad tidings. Jamie gives him a pitying glance, then looks out the window again. Mary's face is terrified and her hands flutter. Distractedly, Tyrone comes in. The strain is obvious in his casualness as he addresses Edmund. It was Dr. Hardy. He wants you to be sure you see him at 4. What'd he say? Not that I give a damn now. I wouldn't believe him if he swore on a stack of Bibles. You mustn't pay attention to a word he says, Edmund. Mary! Oh, we all realize why you like him, James, because he's cheap. But please don't try to tell me. I know all about Dr. Hardy. Heaven knows I ought to after all these years. He's an ignorant fool. There should be a law to keep a man like that, like him, from practicing. He hasn't the slightest idea. When you're in agony and half insane, he sits and holds your hand and delivers sermons on willpower. Her face is drawn in an expression of intense suffering by the memory. For the moment, she loses all caution with bitter hatred. He deliberately humiliates you. He makes you beg and plead. He treats you like a criminal. He understands nothing. And yet it was exactly the same type of cheap quack who gave you the medicine. And you never knew what it was until too late. I hate doctors. They'll sell their souls. What's worse, they'll sell their souls, and you never know till one day you find yourself in hell. Mama, for God's sake, stop talking. Yes, Mary, it's no time. Forgive me, dear. You're right. It's useless to be angry now. There is again a pause of dead silence. When she speaks again, her face is cleared and is calm, and the quality of uncanny detachment is in her voice and manner. I'm going upstairs for a moment, if you'll excuse me. I have to fix my hair. That is, if I can find my glasses. I'll be right down. Tyrone, as if she starts through the doorway, pleading in rebuke. Mary! Yes, dear, what is it? Nothing. You're welcome to come up and watch me if you're so suspicious. As if that could do any good. You'd only postpone it. I'm not your jailer. This isn't prison. No, I know you can't help thinking it's a home. She adds quickly with a detached contrition. I'm sorry, dear. I don't mean to be bitter. It's not your fault. She turns and disappears through the back parlor. The three in the room remain silent. It is as if they are waiting until she got upstairs before speaking. Another shot in the arm. Cut out that kind of talk. Yes. Hold your foul tongue, you rotten Broadway loafers lingo. Have you no pity or decency? You ought to be kicked out in the gutter. But if I did it, you know damn well who'd weep and plead for you and excuse you. And complain till I let you come back. Christ, don't I know that? No pity? I have all the pity in the world for her. I understand what a hard game to beat she's up against, which is more than you ever have. My lingo didn't mean I had no feeling. I was merely putting bluntly what we all know and have to live with now and again. The cures are so damn good except for a while. The truth is there is no cure. We've been sapped to hope. They never come back. They never come back. Everything is in the bag. It's all a frame-up. We're all fall guys and suckers. We can't beat the game. Christ, if I felt the way you do. Jamie stung for a moment, then he shrugged his shoulders dryly. Thought you did. Your poetry isn't very cheery, nor the stuff you read that you claim to admire. He indicates the small bookcase at rear. Your pet with the unpronounceable name, for example. Nishiki. You don't know what you're talking about. You haven't read them. Enough to know it's a lot of bunk. Shut up, both of you. There's little choice between the philosophy you've learned from Broadway loafers and the one Edmund got from his books. They're both rotten to the core. You both flouted the faith you were born and brought up in. The one true faith of the Catholic Church. And your denial has brought nothing but self-destruction. His two sons stare at him contemptuously. They forget their quarrel and are as one against him on this issue. That's bunk, Papa. We don't pretend at any rate. I don't notice you've worn any holes in the knees of your pants going to Mass. It's true I'm a bad Catholic in the observance. God forgive me. But I believe, and you're a liar. I may not go to church, but every night and morning of my life, I get on my knees and pray. Did you pray for Mama? I did. I prayed to God these many years for her. Then, Nishiki, must be right. God is dead. Of his pity, for man hath God died. If your mother had prayed too, she hasn't denied her faith, but she's forgotten it. Until now, there's no strength of spirit left in her to fight against her curse. But what's the good of talk? We've lived with this before, and now we must again. There's no help for it. Only I wish she hadn't led me to hope this time. By God, I never will again. It's a rotten thing to say, Papa. Well, I'll hope. She's just started. Can't have got a hold on her yet. She can still stop. I'm going to talk to her. Can't talk to her now. She'll listen, but she won't listen. She'll be here, but she won't be here. You know the way she gets. Yes, that's the way the poison acts on her always. Every day from now on, it'll be the same drifting away from us until the end of each night. Cut it out, Papa. I'm going to get dressed. I'll make so much noise she can't suspect I've come to spy on her. He disappears through the front parlor and can be heard stamping noisily upstairs. What did Doc Hardy say about the kid? It's what you thought. He's got consumption. God damn it. There's no possible doubt, he said. I'll have to go to the sanatorium. Yes, the sooner the better. Hardy said for him and everyone around him. He claims that in 6 months to a year, Edmund will be cured if he obeys orders. I never thought a child of mine. Doesn't come from my side of the family. There wasn't one of us that didn't have lungs as strong as an ox. Gives a damn about that part of it. Where does Hardy want to send him? That's what I'm to see him about. Well, for God's sake, pick out a good place and not some cheap dump. I'll send him wherever Hardy thinks best. But don't give Hardy your old over the hills to the poorhouse song about taxes and mortgages. I'm no millionaire who can throw money away. Why shouldn't I tell Hardy the truth? Because he'll think you want him to pick a cheap dump, and because he'll know it isn't the truth, especially if he hears afterwards you've seen McGuire and let that flannel-mouthed gold brick merchant sting you with another piece of bum property. Keep your nose out of my business. This is Edmund's business. What I'm afraid of is your Irish bog trotter idea that consumption is fatal. You'll figure it would be a waste of money to spend any more than you can help. You liar. All right, prove I'm a liar. That's what I want. That's why I brought it up. I have every hope Edmund will be cured. Keep your dirty tongue off Ireland. You're a fine one to sneer with the map of it on your face. Not after I wash my face, and before his father can react to this insult. To the old sod, he adds, dryly shrugging his shoulders. Well, I've said all I have to say. It's up to you. What do you want me to do this afternoon, now that you're going uptown? I've done all I can do on the hedge until you cut more of it. You don't want me to go ahead with your clipping, I know that. No, you get it crooked, as you do get everything else. I'd better go uptown with Edmund. Bad news coming on top of what's happened to Mama may hit him hard. Yes, go with him, Jamie. Keep up his spirits, if you can. If you can, without making an excuse, get drunk. What would I use for money? Last I heard, they were still selling booze, not giving it away. He starts for the front parlor doorway. I'll get dressed. He stops in the doorway and sees his mother approaching from the hall and moves aside to let her come in. Her eyes look brighter and her manner is more detached. This change becomes more marked as the scene goes on. You haven't seen my glasses anywhere, have you, Jane? She doesn't look at him. He glances away, ignoring her question. But she doesn't seem to expect an answer. She comes forward, addressing her husband without looking at him. You haven't seen them, have you, James? Behind her, Jamie disappears through the front parlor. Tyrone turns to look out the screen door. No, Mary. What's the matter with Jamie? Have you been nagging at him again? You shouldn't treat him with such contempt all the time. He's not to blame. If he'd been brought up in a real home, I'm sure he would have been different. She comes to the windows as right lively. You're not much of a weather prophet, dear. See how hazy it's getting? I can hardly see the other shore. Yes, I spoke too soon. We're in for another night of fog, I'm afraid. Oh well, I won't mind it tonight. No, I don't imagine you will, Mary. Mary flashes a glance at him after a pause. I don't see Jamie going down to the hedge. Where'd he go? He's going with Edmund to the doctor's. He went up to change his clothes. I'd better do the same or I'll be late for my appointment at the club. He makes a move towards the door at the front parlor doorway. But with a swift, impulsive movement, she reaches out and clasps his arm. Don't go yet, dear. I don't want to be alone. I mean, you have plenty of time. You know you boast. You can dress in one-tenth of the time it takes the boys. There's something I wanted to say. What is it? I forgot. I'm glad Jamie is going uptown. You didn't give him any money, I hope. I did not. He'd only spend it on drink. You know what a vile, poisonous tongue he has when he gets drunk. Not that I would mind anything he said tonight, but he always manages to drive you into a rage, especially if you're drunk too, as you will be. I won't. I never get drunk. Oh, I'm sure you'll hold it well. You always have. It's hard for a stranger to tell, but after 35 years of marriage, I've never missed a performance in my life. That's the proof. If I did get drunk, it is not on you who you should blame. No man has ever had a better reason. Reason? What reason? You always drink too much when you go to the club, don't you? Particularly when you met McGuire. He sees to that. Don't think I'm finding fault there. You must do as you please. I won't mind. I know you won't. He turns toward the front parlor, anxious to escape. I've got to get dressed. Mary again, she reaches out and grasps his arm pleadingly.
No, please wait a little, dear. At least until one of the boys comes down. You'll all be leaving me so soon.
It's you who are leaving us, Mary.
I? It's a silly thing to say, James. How could I leave? There's nowhere I could go. Who else would I go see? I have no friends.
It's your own fault. There's surely one thing you can do this afternoon that will be good for you, Mary. Take a drive in the automobile. Get away from the house. Get a little sun and fresh air. I bought the automobile for you. You know I don't like the damn things. I'd rather walk any day. Take a trolley. I had it here waiting for you when you came back from the sanatorium. I hoped it would give you pleasure and distract your mind. You used to ride in it every day, but you've hardly used it at all lately. I paid a lot of money I couldn't afford. There's the chauffeur I have to board and lodge and pay high wages whether he drives you or not. Waste. Same old waste that will land me in the poorhouse in my old age. What good did it do you? I might as well have thrown the money out the window. Yes, it's a waste of money, James. You shouldn't have bought a second-hand automobile. You were swindled again, as you always are, because you insist on second-hand bargains and everything. It's one of the best makes. Everyone says it's better than any one of those new ones. It was another waste to hire Smythe, who was only a helper in a garage and had never been a chauffeur. Oh, I realize his wages are less than a real chauffeur's, but he more than makes up for that, I'm sure. By the graft he gets from the garage on repair bills, something is always wrong. Smythe sees to that, I'm afraid. I don't believe it. He may not be a fancy millionaire's flunky, but he's honest. You're just as bad as Jamie, suspecting everyone. You mustn't be offended, dear. I wasn't offended when you gave me the automobile. I knew you didn't mean to humiliate me. I knew that was the way you had to do everything. I was grateful and touched. I knew buying the car was a hard thing for you to do. And it proved how much you loved me in your way, especially when you couldn't really believe it would do me any good. Mary, he suddenly hugs her to him brokenly. Dear Mary, for the love of God, for my sake and the boy's sake and your own, won't you stop now? Mary stammers guiltily, confusion for a second. James, please. Her strange, stubborn defense comes back and stop what? What are you talking about? He lets his arm fall to his side brokenly. She impulsively puts her arm around him. James, we loved each other. We always will. Let's remember only that. Not try to understand what we cannot understand. Or help things that cannot be helped. The things life has done to us, we cannot excuse or explain. Won't even try. Mary, her arms drop hopelessly as she turns away with detachment. Try to go for a drive this afternoon? Why, yes, if you wish me to, although it makes me feel lonelier than if I stayed here. There's no one I can invite to drive with me, and I never know where to tell Smythe to go. There was a friend's house where I could drop in and laugh and gossip a while, but of course there isn't. It never has been. At the Covenant, I had so many friends. Girls whose families lived in lovely homes. I
I used to visit them, and they'd visit me in my father's home. But naturally, after I married an actor, you know how actors were considered in those days. A lot of them gave me the cold shoulder. And right after we were married, there was a scandal of that woman who had been your mistress suing you. From then on, all my old friends either pitied me or cut me dead. I hated the ones who cut me, much less than the pitiers. For God's sake, don't dig up what's long forgotten. If you're that far gone in the past already, when it's only the beginning of the afternoon, what will you be tonight? Come to think of it, I do have to drive uptown. There's something I must get at the drugstore. Leave it to you to have some of the stuff hidden. Prescriptions for more. I hope you'll lay in a good stock ahead, so we'll never have another night like the one when you screamed for it and ran out of the house in your nightdress half crazy to try and throw yourself off the dock. I have to go get tooth powder and toilet soap and cold cream. James, you must remember, you mustn't humiliate me so. I'm sorry. Forgive me, Mary. It doesn't matter. Nothing like that ever happened. You must have dreamed it.
He stares at her hopelessly. Her voice seems to drift farther and farther away.
I was so healthy before Edmund was born. You remember, James. There wasn't a nerve in my body. Even traveling with you season after season, with week after week of one-night stands and trains without Pullmans and dirty rooms of filthy hotels, eating bad food, bearing children in hotel rooms. I still kept healthy, but bearing Edmund was the last straw. I was so sick afterwards. That ignorant quack of a cheap hotel doctor, all he knew was I was in pain. It was easy for him to stop the pain. Mary, for God's sake, forget the past. Why? How can I? The past is the present, isn't it? It's the future, too. We all try to lie out of that, but life won't let us. I blame only myself. I swore after Eugene died I would never have another baby. I was to blame for his death. If I hadn't left him with my mother to join you on the road, because you wrote telling me you missed me and you were so lonely, Jamie would have never been allowed when he still had measles to go into the baby's room. I've always believed Jamie did it on purpose. He was jealous of the baby. He hated him. Oh, I know Jamie was only 7, but he was never stupid. He'd been warned it might kill the baby. He knew. I've never been able to forgive him for that. Are you back with Eugene now? Can't you let our dead baby rest in peace? It was my fault. I should have insisted on staying with Eugene and not have let you persuade me to join you just because I loved you. Above all, I shouldn't have let you insist I have another baby to take Eugene's place because you thought that would make me forget his death. I knew from experience by then that children should have homes to be born in. If they're to be good children, women need homes. If they're to be good mothers, I was afraid all the time. I carried Edmund. I knew something terrible would happen. I knew I'd proved by the way I'd left Eugene that I wasn't worthy to have another baby, and that God would punish me if I did. I never should have borne Edmund.
Tyrone with an uneasy glance through the front parlor.
Mary, be careful with your talk. If he heard you, he might think you never wanted him. He's feeling bad enough already without. It's a lie. I did want him. More than anything in the world. You don't understand. I meant for his sake. He has never been happy. He never will be, nor healthy. He was born nervous and too sensitive, and that's my fault. And now, ever since he's been so sick, I've kept remembering Eugene and my father, and I've been so frightened and guilty.
And catching herself with an instant change of
to stubborn denial. Oh, I know it's foolish to imagine dreadful things when there's no reason for it. After all, everyone has colds and gets over them. Tyrone stares at her and sighs helplessly. He turns away toward the front parlor and sees Edmund coming down the stairs in the hall. Tyrone sharply in a low voice. Here's Edmund. For God's sake, try and be yourself, at least until he goes. You can do that much for him. He waits, forcing his face into a pleasantly paternal expression. She waits brightly, seized again by the nervous panic, her hands fluttering over the bosom of her dress, up to her throat and the hair with the distracted aimlessness. Then as Edmund approaches the doorway, she cannot face him. She goes swiftly away to the windows at left and stares out with her back to the front parlor. Edmund enters. He has changed to a ready-made blue serge suit, high stiff collar, and tie black shoes with an actor's hardiness. Well, you look spick and span. I'm on my way up to change too. He starts to pass him. Wait a minute, Papa. I hate to bring up disagreeable topics, but there's the matter of car fare. I'm broke. You'll always be broke until you learn value. Checks himself guiltily, looking at his son's face with worried pity. But you've been learning, lad. You worked hard before you took ill. You've done splendidly. I'm proud of you. He pulls out a small roll of bills from his pants pocket and carefully selects one. Edmund takes it. He glances at it, and his face expresses astonishment. His father again reacts customarily sarcastically. Thank you. How sharper than a serpent's tooth it is. To have a thankless child. I know. Give me a chance, Papa. I'm not speechless. This isn't $1, it's a 10 spot. Put in your pocket. You'll probably meet some of your friends uptown. You can't hold your end up. Be sociable with nothing in your jeans. You meant it? Gosh, thank you, Papa. He is genuinely pleased and grateful for a moment, then stares at his father's face with uneasy suspicion. But why all of a sudden? Did Doc Hardy tell you I was going to die? Then he sees his father bitterly hurt. No, that's a rotten crap. I was only kidding, Papa. He puts his arm around his father impulsively and gives him an affectionate hug. I'm very grateful, honest Papa. You're welcome, lad. Mary suddenly turns to them in confused panic and frightened anger. I won't have it. Do you hear, Edmund? Such a morbid nonsense. Saying you're going to die? It's the books you read. Nothing but sadness and death. Your father shouldn't allow you to have them. And some of them poems you've written yourself are even worse. You'd think you didn't want to live. A boy of your age with everything before him, it's just a pose. You get out of the books. You're not really sick at all. Mary, hold your tongue. Mary instantly changing to a detached tone. But James, it's absurd of Edmund to be so gloomy and make such a great to-do about nothing. Turning to Edmund, but avoiding his eyes, teasingly affectionate. Never mind, dear, I'm on to you. She comes to him. You want to be petted and spoiled and made a fuss over, isn't that it? You're still such a baby. She puts her arm around him and hugs him. He remains rigid and unyielding. Her voice begins to tremble. Please don't carry it too far, dear. Don't say horrible things. I know it's foolish to take them seriously, but I can't help it. You've got me so frightened. She breaks and hides her face on his shoulder, sobbing. Edmund is moved in spite of himself. He pats her shoulder with an awkward tenderness. Don't, Mother. Tyrone huskily clutching at hopeless hope. Maybe if you asked your mother now what you said you were going to do. He fumbles with his watch. By God, look at the time. I'll have to shake a leg. He hurries away through the front parlor. Mary lifts her head. Her manner is again one of detached mother's solicitude. She seems to have
forgotten the tears which are still in her eyes.
How do you feel, dear? Your head is a little hot. That's just from going out in the sun. You look ever so much better than you did this morning. Come and sit down. You mustn't stand on your feet so much. You must learn to husband your strength.
She gets him to sit, and she sits sideways on the arm of his chair, an arm around his shoulders so she cannot meet her eyes. Edmund starts to blurt out the appeal he now feels is quite hopeless.
Listen, Mama. Now, don't talk. Lean back and rest. You know, I think it would be much better for you if you stayed home this afternoon. Let me take care of you. It's such a tiring trip uptown in the dirty old trolley on a hot day like this. I'm sure you'd be much better off here with me. You forget I have an appointment with Hardy. Listen, Mama. You can telephone and say you don't feel well enough. It's simply a waste of time and money seeing him. He'll only tell you some lie. He'll pretend he's found something serious the matter because that's his bread and butter. The old idiot. All he knows about medicine is to look solemn and preach willpower. Mama, please listen. I want to ask you something. You're only just started. You can still stop. You've got willpower. We'll all help you. I'll do anything. Won't you, Mama? Please don't talk about things you don't understand. All right, I give up. I knew it was no use. Anyway, I don't know what you're referring to, but I do know you should be the last one. Right after I returned from the sanatorium, you began to be ill. The doctor there had warned me I must have peace at home with nothing to upset me, and all I've done is worry about you. That's no excuse. I'm only trying to explain. It's not an excuse. Promise me, dear, you won't believe I made you an excuse. What else can I believe?
Mary slowly takes her arm away, her manner remotely and objective again.
Yes, I suppose you can't help suspecting that. What do you expect? Nothing. I don't believe you. How could you believe me? I can't believe myself. I've become such a liar. I never lied about anything once upon a time. Now I have to lie, especially to myself. But how can you understand when I don't understand myself? I never understood anything about it except that one day long ago I found I could no longer call my soul my own.
She pauses and lowers her voice to a strange tone of whispered confidence.
But someday, I will find it again. Someday, when you're all well, I see you healthy and happy and successful, I don't have to feel guilty anymore. Someday, when the Blessed Virgin Mary forgives me and gives me back the faith in her love and pity I used to have in my covenant days, and I can pray to her again. When she sees no one in the world can believe in me, even for a moment anymore, then she will believe in me. And with her help, it will be so easy. I will hear myself scream with agony, and at the same time I will laugh because I will be so sure of myself.
Then as Edmund remains hopelessly silent, she adds sadly,
of course, you can't believe that either.
She rises from her arm, the arm of his chair, and goes to stare out the window right with her back to him casually.
Now I think might as well go up to him. I forgot I'm taking a drive. I have to go to the drugstore. You would hardly want to go there with me. You'd be so ashamed. Mama, don't. I suppose you'll divide that $10 your father gave you with Jamie? You always divide with each other, don't you? Like good sports? Well, I know what he'll do with his share. Get drunk someplace where he can be with the only kind of woman he understands or likes. She turns, pleading him frighteningly. Ed, promise me you won't drink. It's so dangerous. You know Dr. Hardy told you. I thought he was an old idiot. Anyway, by tonight, what will you care? Ed! Jamie's voice is heard from the front hall. Come on, kid, let's beat it. Mary's manner at once becomes detached again. Go on. Jamie's waiting. She goes to the front parlor doorway. Comes your father downstairs, too. Tyrone's voice close. Come on, Evan. Evan jumping up from his chair. Coming. He stops beside her without looking at her. Bye, Mom. Mary kisses him with a detached affection. Goodbye, dear. If you're coming home for dinner, try not to be late. And tell your father. You know what Bridget is. He turns and hurries away. Tyrone calls from the hall. Bye, Mary. And then Jamie. Bye, Mama. She calls back. Goodbye. The front screen door is heard closing after them. She comes and stands by the table, one hand drumming on it, the other guttering up to her pat. She stares about the room with frightened, forsaken eyes and whispers to herself, it's so lonely here. Then her face hardens into bitter self-contempt. You're lying to yourself again. You wanted to get rid of them. Their contempt, disgust aren't pleasant company. You're glad they're gone. She gives a little despairing laugh. Mother of God, why do I feel so lonely? Sure. That was Act 2, Scene 2 of an original work, Long Day's Journey into Night. Thank you.